Hello, mate.
So what's the deal with the dicky bow? I mean, I'm very underdressed. I had no idea we were going to a party.
Well, now, the couple of reasons. Number one is last week I appeared in this show on my pants. So I thought I needed to up my game. I think in my pants.
Your pants.
In my pants.
Thank goodness for that.
I think... No, there's always the future. Good, write that one down. This week, as well as apologising by dressing up a little bit, I thought it might be a good idea to talk about how we listen to audiobooks, and specifically, given the amazing news of what's going to happen on our next episode, how one listens to The Sandman 2. Before the arrival of, and I'll let you do it, Steve, you managed to bag us the interview.
Dirk Maggs on the 1st of December. Right here. Well, as I say right here, it's very much in the ether, but, you know, wherever you normally get your sound files from. Yeah, that's right.
Which is really exciting. So the man who produced Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and built those worlds in your head, and the man who... has basically taken the DC Sandman novels by Neil Gaiman and made them, I think you referred to it, I think our conjoined effort by the end of it was the most expensive movie in your head of all time. I think that's the sum of our combined efforts, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, completely. Blew my head off when I turned that when I pressed play. So yeah.
Yeah, and that was the first time you loved a fiction audiobook to that extent, wasn't it?
Yes.
How are you doing with Sandman 2?
Really good. I mean, I was at an advantage, I think, with Sandman 1 in that I was on a holiday. So basically, whenever I jumped in the car to go somewhere, that would go on. So it was just me and Dirk Maggs and Neil Gaiman and all the cast of thousands and brilliant storytelling, and, you know, for an hour or so each time. So it was great. So I really rattled through that in the space of a week. When you get back to reality, those car journeys aren't quite so long, and you're kind of thinking about lots of other stuff, you know, normal stuff like, you know, work and bills and the bloody weather, you know. And so you're distracted. So you really need to get in the zone, I think, to be able to really appreciate it. Yeah. It's hugely accessible, so accessible. And I think that comes across really in Neil Gaiman's storytelling, in his narration. You can pick it up wherever you are, you know, from where you left off, and get back into it very, very quickly, and realize you're back in hell or back in a dream or wherever they're at that time. But yeah, I found it more challenging to get myself into the right kind of mental gear to listen to it, and you know, but you know, I'm hot at this point in time as I speak to you. I'm about 2/3 of the way through, and it is fucking excellent. So good, so good. And yeah, so I can't wait to speak to him with you, of course. I can't wait to speak to you either. You know that. And hear what he's got cooking for Act 3 as well, because yeah, I really want to know how he creates some of those sound effects. I really do. I mean, it's not kind of the traditional gravel in tray for walking across a driveway scene.
Two half coconuts for a horse arriving.
2 half coconuts for a horse. As King Arthur once said. So I'm really looking forward to talking to him. Yeah, it's going to be great.
I haven't done my homework again. I am on about chapter 4, and I'm finding it really challenging. So in the Sandman 1, it was very much rooted in the real world. So that you knew you were in an alleyway in New York, a motel in Georgia, or an office in the 1920s, surrounded by dark green filing cabinets with one of those lamps that they have at Strada hanging from the ceiling, you know, the sort of the prisoner of war camp lamps that they have there. And I could relate to it. And I have to say that I've found it difficult to grasp, and I'm going to use a big word, the more ethereal world of Sandman 2. So the opening chapters have all been in gardens with endless pathways and in front of castles more in the netherworld, more big than you've ever imagined, and introducing 7 characters at the same time, all of whom I think they're all wearing black, and I haven't quite got it. So part of the reason I'm dressed like an idiot today is to...
You look lovely, like you in your dickie.
Yes, well, it's 7:30 in the morning. I should probably do more of a WG Grace and look at, I've been out for a night, Steve, and I'm going into bat. That's a joke for the kids there.
Absolutely relevant as ever.
Yes, on the pulse, mate. Finger on the pulse.
Absolutely right.
But what I'm trying to say is that this is a AAA title. Sandman 2 is a AAA title. It deserves your attention. It is indeed a special occasion. And you need to listen to it to clear some space in your day. I think that's almost what you've said as well. And you need to pour yourself a stiff drink, and you need to make sure you're not going to be interrupted. And either, I know in your bachelor pad, there is an enormous, expensive hi-fi system that comes probably out of the furniture and has woofers and tweeters and that type of thing. Or you could use your incredibly luxury Gucci headphones. But you need to devote the time to it. It's not something you can listen to with your headphones on while doing the hoovering. Would you agree?
Yeah, kind of. I think if you're doing anything that remotely involves that isn't a natural reaction, like hoovering or driving, because I've found I can do stuff like that and listen to this. But if you're doing something slightly more cerebral, then it's a challenge. You can easily tune out, and you can't really tune out because you're right. I think the mind, because it's audio, and in the first few chapters of Act 2, you're being asked to conceptualize and visualize in your mind lots of conceptual things, you're supposed to visualize hell, you're supposed to visualize the garden, the castle of dream, all these people in black that you mentioned, and you've got to visualize an awful lot in those early chapters in your head. Whereas Sandman Act 1, I mean, it was very much the start of in the early part of the 20th century. You can visualize all that stuff. You can visualize coach and horses going to, Witch Cross or whatever. You can visualize a lot of things, and then it gets you into the dream and all the rest. So I really found that obviously I had to do a lot of imaginary gymnastics, if you like, quite early on. Some people might be able to do that very, very easy, by the way. I had to sort of really work harder, I think, in the opening chapters of Act 2, just from my mind's eye point of view.
I exactly the same point. I'm really glad you think that. The interesting thing today is we're going to be talking about Audible Plus, which is almost the exact opposite end. We are going to be rummaging around in Audible's bargain bin. I think we've conveyed the message. I think that means I can go and get changed now. Roll titles.
Hello, I'm Steve.
And I'm Matthew.
And this is Audiobook Club. We review and recommend audiobooks. And this episode, we're going to be rifling through Audible's relatively new Audible Plus service, which gives their paying members access to exclusive podcasts, and seeing if we feel like we've gained access to the VVIP section of a swanky nightclub, or if it's just the oral version of rummaging through the bargain bin at a particularly grossy branch of John Menzies.
Before we do that, Steve, can we do some parish notices? I've got a couple of things I want to mention before we specifically move on to the Audible bargain bin.
You can do that in accordance to the standing orders, absolutely. Read them and understand them. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you for seconding my emotion. So it's a really good time of year. It's my favourite in audiobook world. It's my favourite time of year in that it's coming up to Christmas. So all of the new episodes of your latest all the latest episodes of your favourite book series are coming out ready for the Christmas market. So I, for example, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into Richard Osman's new book. I'm very much enjoying, or have just enjoyed, Lee Child's new book, the new Jack Reacher, which we talked about last year when it came out. And I have to say that for me, the new Jack Reacher book includes in it possibly the best and most evocative sentence I've heard in an audiobook ever.
He turned away and stepped off the roof. He didn't hesitate, just plunged straight off the edge. Then I heard a sound. It was like a wet hand slapping a table in a distant room.
Oh,
isn't that just brilliant?
That's so good. That is exactly the way to describe someone falling out of a building, isn't it? Really,
six stories down. You didn't actually see them. You can't see over the edge and go over. So there's just
yeah. Has to be 6 stories as well, doesn't it? I mean, you'd have to come up with a completely new description for 8 stories.
I think that would involve a kipper, a wet kipper hitting a floor. But I think part of the reason that sentence is so brilliant, and the first winner of any kind of Audiobook Club official award, Line of the Year 2021, I think it would work better than it does in a book. In a book, you'd skim over that sentence, but I think it's a lovely example of the passages to your imagination are open, because from your ears to your brain, because you're already listening in oral form. And I think for that reason, I vote that it is better than the tree-based version of that line.
We should put this one to Dirk Maggs. How would Dirk play him the line? Because obviously it's just being read by a Winchester there. Sorry, Jeff. But it is. But if we ask Dirk, how would you go about recreating a wet hand slapping a table in a distant room? Well, that's probably
Is that indeed what you would use, or would you take my professional answer and use fish?
Use fish. Yeah.
Use fish.
Yes. The fish slapping dance in a distant room. Yeah, definitely. No, okay. Well, that's another question I'll write down for him then. I'm sure it's really incisive stuff here. We'll need people's help with any questions they have for Dirk Maggs, actually, instead of the rubbish I'm going to come up with.
How did they do that, Steve?
Yeah, that's a good question to ask. Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, they can do it. I'll do it. They can do it in the comments below on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. They can search for the hashtag audiobookclub.net. We'd also do a fair amount of the hashtag is audiobook club. The website is audiobookclub.net. And yeah, we're about, and if you talk to us, we'll talk back to you and put your question to Dirk Maggs.
Yeah, that's a brilliant way of answering a question I thought we were actually going to put to Dirk Maggs, but actually you're just asking me how people can get in touch with us. I'm on your wavelength now, Matt. I'm on your wavelength.
The other thing I wanted to mention was if anybody else has had the same experience with, there's an author I'd love to get on who I owe a big favour because I've spent a lot of time with his books. They are my guilty secret. He is named Craig Allenson. The main thing he does is push out 17 hours of audiobook every 6 months. Brilliantly produced, brilliantly written, and most of them are science fiction. And I tried to go across to his one that's set in a world of wizards and orcs, and I struggled with it. It's called Ascendant. But this week, I've got stuck into it and I've enjoyed it. And I have listened to probably about 34 hours worth of that this week, which is going to be part of my point. I think part of the reason for that might be related to the subject of today's show, which is Audible Plus. Steve, can you please do your best press release reading voice and tell us what Audible Plus is?
I'll do it in a marketing style, if that helps.
Good.
As though I work for them.
Yes.
Audible Plus press release. All you can listen membership option, Audible Plus. Audible Plus is the brand new all you can listen service. Audible Plus, we might have to reword this a little bit. Is this their press release? Right.
No, keep going.
They mentioned it several times in the first 3 lines.
They do. That's the idea of a press release, dude.
That's a good point. It'd be a cold day if I ever get a press award.
I bet you remember what it's called now.
Yeah, that's very true. I'll start again. Audible Plus is the brand new all-you-can-listen-to service, Audible Plus, that will provide you with access to an array of Audible originals, audiobooks, and podcasts that span genres, lengths, and formats. Audible Plus offers members greater selection through unlimited access to a robust catalogue that includes over 68,000 hours of content and 11,000 plus titles from across the content spectrum, including documentaries, comedy, journalism, kids, wellness, self-development, selections from Audible Theatre, and more. The content slate will grow. That's very marketing language, isn't it? Alongside various technical enhancements over the coming months. There you go. End of press release. Back to you.
That ends. Yeah. ... square brackets.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so have you had a rummage yet? Have you had a look around to see what Audible Plus actively means for consumers like you and me?
I've had a dip, yeah. I think that's how I got Sandman Act 1, actually, because I was able to listen to that for free. And, however, looking down some of the things you have selected here, so I'll let you mention them, of course. I did buy one, and then they've put it out there for free.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those as well. In fact, the Simon Sharma's Volume 1 of British History. I needed something more educational than I'd been listening to, so I could come on here and look dignified in that.
Yeah.
And then I found that I'd already bought it and got about 6 chapters in a while ago. But actually, so the point and part of the reason that you and I do this, and other audiobook platforms are available. I've read over 600 audiobooks, 599 of which have been on Audible. They own the market. They went round about 10 years ago and signed exclusive deals with all the publishers when nobody had a clue what was going to happen. It was before, so it was the birth of the iPhone, so nobody would necessarily think about an app on a mobile phone for audiobooks. How's that going to work? Audiobooks are on CDs. But Amazon were very clever. They signed all these deals. They bought Audible. They signed all these deals. And then the model of you pay for a year, $150 or £72, depending where you live, and you get 1 book a month. And if you want more than 1 book a month, you can buy an extra 3 credits for £18 or $40 or whatever, however many rand or yen it's going to cost you. And that has led to a strange way in which we consume audiobooks. And I think you and I have discussed before that a lot of that, people find themselves signing up, enjoying their first free book, enjoying possibly their second book, and then you kind of get lost. And once you've chosen a wrong book and committed yourself to 22 hours of reading the wrong thing and you've lost your credit, you kind of lose little interest in the service. And then a year later, you find yourself, it's renewed out of your bank account and you have 12 credits remaining, £72 or $150 of your money sitting there unused. And they even start telling you that you're going to run out of credits soon. And for that reason, you approach reading an audiobook in a different way to reading a book. If you want a book, you go to Amazon, you order a book. You go and you have a stroll around your local secondhand bookshop and have a little flick through, the bins of books in the local charity shop. Or you go to one of those amazing things called a library. And there's about 3 different ways you can consume books. Here, there is only one way of doing it. And there's a certain amount of pressure on every choice you make. And part of what we're doing here is in response to the way that worked is we're going, well, let's help everybody make sure that they choose a good book next time and that they enjoy the process, because it's quite a high-risk process. What Audible have done here, and I love the adjective in this press release, Audible Plus offers members, you've just read this, I'm doing it again. Audible Plus offers members greater selection through unlimited access to a robust catalogue. Now, I don't know about you, Steve, but robust is not a word that fills me with, it doesn't say an enjoyable catalogue, a most excellent catalogue. I'm not sure robust inspires me with confidence.
So Audible insinuating that other catalogues may collapse.
Well, my catalogue could take your catalogue outside for a fight by the bins and kick the living crap out of it. I mean, that's possibly what it's saying.
20 years ago, you could do that. We could have a fight in a car park. You with an Argos catalogue, me with a Littlewoods one. And let's face it, back in the day, they were yay thick. By the way, I'm making my...
They were indeed. Yeah. They were indeed, before websites.
Yeah.
So the answer is the stuff... If they're using the word robust, is there anything that's good? The question is this some VIP member section we've been let into, or is it a bargain bin? And the answer is somewhere between the two. It's actually quite nice to have a rummage. That hasn't been an audiobook experience. There are certain things in the real world, there are certain things that don't quite seem as attractive in a post-COVID world. We can't go and rifle through CDs in charity shops anymore. No. Because you think that's been in someone's house. In fact, all of these things have been in someone's house. Don't want to touch that. I also refer the honourable gentleman to 10-pin bowling, where you start by putting on some shoes that lots of other people have worn, and then you stick your fingers in the 3 dark holes. Bowling alleys. Not.
Yeah. No. Say no. No,
bowling alleys. So it's really nice.
You keep my bowling alley out of this.
Keep your 3 dark holes out of this.
I guess don't you stick your finger anyway. Yes, we'll try and raise the level of this podcast.
Sorry, but the joy of the joy of rummaging or going bargain hunting is when you actually find a bargain and you feel really happy with yourself because you found something of quality amongst all the dead people stuff in a charity shop. And in this case, I've been listening to so many more audiobooks, Steve. It has become more of my habit. I love having an audiobook on as I drop off to sleep. I sometimes have trouble getting to sleep, and if I've got something happening in my ear holes that can help me relax, then I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. So in the last couple of weeks, have enjoyed much of Bill Bryson's back catalogue, which, again, I may not have bought myself, but because it's free, there's no risk for me in listening to it. So I think the number one book is in Audible Prime at the moment is his History of Absolutely Everything, which is genius. I've also enjoyed at home A Short History of Private Life. Bill Bryson, of course, he's one of the last people to be writing books properly, and he involves you in that process. He goes to a library and researches it, and then he'll take a trip to a foreign city because he can afford the airfare, and he'll go and interview the world's expert on a particular subject. And yeah, so they're like a nice warm pair of slippers.
Yeah,
those are really good. I've also enjoyed going back to the woman who got me into murder mysteries was Ruth Rendell, Barbara Vine.
yes.
And I've been listening to some of her stuff that I read when I was a teenager in the 1980s, and I can just leave it on. It doesn't matter if I fall asleep when I'm listening to it. With The Sandman, it is the total opposite end of the spectrum. It's like you want to be alert for every moment.
Yeah.
But just the idea of having the sort of the rumbling along, the company that a book provides and the intrigue without worrying that, you're missing anything is absolutely perfect. I haven't read it, but I noticed that one that you might like, if I were to recommend it to you, From the Oast House by Alan Partridge is there.
Genius, that one.
Have you listened to that?
Yes, several times.
Any good?
It's excellent and it's free. Get that if you haven't listened to it, get it on your phone now. Honestly, it's so good. The amount of effort's gone into that. It's just brilliantly written. Just brilliantly written. I think since the Gibbons have come on board with Partridge, it's really has really kicked him on a gear, and he's a character who'll be around forever.
So I cannot bear them. It's the same problem I have with The Office. So I, to a certain extent, am a obnoxious, unpleasant, failed radio presenter, and for that reason, I feel it is. I'm also a terrible manager. So Alan Partridge and The Office just make me cringe because I go, I do that. And then, no, doing that isn't cool. So I genuinely have difficulty with those, but I'm really good. So the Oast House is, in brackets, free because you're paying your monthly membership fee, which used to only entitle you to one book. But yeah, it's like any good drug dealer. What you do is you start off by giving some people stuff for free, don't you? And I think this has genuinely changed my habits and made me listen to more audiobooks.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'm quite looking forward to having a good rummage myself through these and just see what else is in there. Their podcasts, their Audible originals, I'm always listening to. There's some really excellent stuff on there.
And again, I hope we can talk about those. We make our own rules, but at the moment, I'm just sticking to audiobooks, just because that's what it says above the door. But yeah, I think you and I both need to look into perhaps broadening what we listen to, because if the people who are watching or listening to us are audiophiles, then maybe we should be a little less buttoned up about what we listen to and discuss. There is also, though, some absolute excrement in there.
Go for it.
I would like to. I thought this will be a great opportunity for me to catch up on books I should have read. And when it said the Orwell collection, like the collected works of George Orwell, I went, that's exactly what this should be for. And then, of course, it's narrated by Stephen Fry. You know my views. Living with two children who put Harry Potter books on in 3 different rooms, running at different times. I used to want to be Stephen Fry. Now I want to hunt him down and kill him.
Tweeting that and see what happens. Yeah.
Well, do you know what? To be honest, I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about the next thing I'm about to say. So one of the things I've read is a biography of a man called Lenny McLean. And Lenny McLean's a bit handy. He's an East End gangster. His book is called The Governor, because he is the governor. I'll give you a little taster of what it sounds like.
Well, nobody spits at a lady in front of me. They look round and I crack their foreheads together like two coconuts. Down they went. I'm the governor. If I'm asked, it's done.
Which is funny for 5 seconds, but that's all there is. There's just more of that.
I gave them both a slap. I'm the governor.
And it basically talks about how he used to beat people up and then how he went on in prison. But the really funny thing that I haven't played you yet is how this book's credibility and the enjoyment of it is ruined before it even starts because of the way it opens.
John Blake Publishing presents The Governor, the autobiography of Lenny McLean. Written by Lenny McLean and read by Carl Jenkinson. Forward. I'm known as the governor. I am the governor.
You're not. You're clearly not. You're clearly called Tarquin, and you clearly went to quite a nice school in the home counties. And just basically, once you've heard that, you can't take the rest of the book seriously. Hello, I'm Matthew Layton, and this is Audiobook Club. I'm the governor.
What a turnaround. What a turnaround. Yes.
There is. You'll notice that of all those great books that I've mentioned, the Ruth Rendell's, the George Orwell's, all of the stuff that's there, if you dig around and you find it and you get lucky. The one thing that I've played 3 clips from is actually the worst thing there. So there is fun to be had with that as well.
Yeah, and the good thing is, it's all if it's free to you, then give it a try. If you don't like it, download something else. And I think that's the beauty about this thing, isn't it? There's always some hidden gems in there, but you do have to sort of swim through some of the lesser appreciated titles.
I'm sure the robust people at the Audible press office will have been a little upset when I referred to this as rummaging around in their bargain bin. But I hope I've conveyed that it's made Audible a much more enjoyable experience. There's less stress when you go. You go, I've got to get, this is my one chance a month to get exactly the right book. And
it's quite a robust bargain bin.
It is. Do you know what? Fair enough. If you can separate the wheat from the chaff, Audible's bargain bin is worth rummaging in. I think that's the way I put it, and it's changed me. And if it's a clever ploy to get me to listen to more audiobooks and extend my interest in Audible, or maybe somebody who's less addicted to audiobooks than I am, I think it might just work, Steve.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right then. Well, let's give it a go. I'm going to have a rummage as well, and I'll report back on what I've found, and we'll do some freebie recommendations next time out, eh?
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Anything coming up on the next show, Steve? Just looking at the notes.
Well, obviously Dirk Maggs. Dirk Maggs is coming up.
The greatest audio producer of all time is coming on our show on December the 1st, Steve.
Yeah, I just thought I'd slip it in there sort of cash like. Yeah, so Dirk Maggs, 1st of December. If you've got any questions, and for Dirk Maggs, not just generally, then use the hashtag Audiobook Club or hit us up on Facebook.
Ooh, nice.
Log on to our forum and you can drop a question to Dirk Maggs. We'll ask it for you. But to be fair, he's pretty responsive and nice on Twitter anyway, and just ask him anyway. But it'd be nice to chat to him because we've got so many questions. Well, I've got so many questions to ask him about. I really want to see how he achieved the fleshlock in Act 2. I haven't given away spoilers in there. Is that a spoiler? I mean, I just said
no, that's not a spoiler. I haven't got there yet, and I don't know what you're talking about. No, you haven't ruined anything for me.
Some sort of weird. Anyway, I don't want to go down that alleyway. I don't want to go down that bowling alleyway.
Evac 180, do the endy bit of the show.
Yes, okay then, right. So that's next time out, December the 1st. As I mentioned, if you want to get in touch with us anytime, we are on the YouTube, the Facebook, and also use the hashtag and generally on social media, Audiobook Club, all one word. And we'll see you on the 1st